Hey everybody, and welcome back to FSi DFS. I'm McKinley412. Hope you're all having a fantastic week and recovering from last night. Man, what a crazy slate that was. 14 games. Everybody was scoring. Double-digit run totals all over the place, except for Tampa Bay and Oakland, oddly enough. But Oakland continues the streak. They won again. So that's just a fun ride to pay attention to there. But let's look at this one here tonight. 12 games. A lot of stud pitchers going. Two of them that do stick out more so than the others. We'll just kind of go right in. Kershaw and Castillo, those are the two that I have the most interest in this high tier. Kershaw and Castillo, they got solid floors. They also have fantastic ceilings, and they got solid matchups going up against Miami and the Chicago White Sox. Better matchups, I think, than I know than going up against the Mets, who they don't strike out too much as a team. They can be pretty pesky, work the count and everything. It's not that I don't like Cole at all in this spot. Like, I still have interest in him. I just think he's more of a GPP play at this point in time. Valdez, same thing, going up against Washington. They're a bad offense, but they're similar to the Mets in that they're a low strikeout team. And they can, really limit the ceiling to a lot of pitchers. So I would definitely target Castillo and Kershaw if I was going into this upper tier. Keller, he's been striking out everybody except for Oakland, oddly enough, this season. He had that terrible start against Oakland, but he brought it back last time out going up against the Mets. Still, like, his swinging strike rate is very low. He's due for regression. Like, there's no way that he's able to sustain this. But then again, I've been saying that for like 3 or 4 starts now. But there's no way for him to sustain this low swinging strike rate, but also generating these many strikeouts and limiting so much damage. So Keller, I don't have a whole lot of interest in him. And you'll kind of see that on the sheet. And then same thing with Kelly. I don't have a whole lot of interest in him. I'm down here with Cole, but really Kelly could probably go over here with Keller in the no interest category. But Kershaw and Castillo are going to be my 2 favorite front runners. Oh, Glasnow. How did I forget about Glasnow? Sorry about that. Facing off against Oakland, the main worry I have with Glasnow is it's Tampa Bay, and they never let their pitchers go super, super deep into the games. So you can see he's kind of topped out around like low to mid 80s in terms of his pitch count. So he's probably going to go 5 to 6 innings. He's not really going to extend beyond that at all. And if he does get into a little bit of trouble, or the Oakland bats foul off a lot of balls and they work the counts and everything, he might only go 5 innings. And that's not really something you'd be too thrilled about for a guy that's 9.4K, but still. It's Oakland. I know they're on this winning streak, but it is still Oakland and that offense. So we do have to have some interest in there. So Kershaw, Castillo, Glasnow, I think those are the top 3. And then like a little bit of a gap, and then Valdez, Kelly, and Cole. Going into the mid-tier, I had a really tough time separating all these guys in this mid-tier. I really could listen to an argument that, completely reverses this and puts Berrios at the top. And puts Verlander at the bottom with the struggles that Verlander has shown this season. But at the same time, Verlander, he's still coming off of that crazy year from last year. And when he's not getting absolutely torched, you can see -1, -2, -1. When he's not getting torched, he's been solid. And he's facing off against the Yankees here. I know we targeted Max last night. And we targeted this Yankees team last night without Aaron Judge because there are some strikeouts in that lineup. Burned us a little bit last night, but we're moving on. You can't dwell on the past here. I do think that this price tag is very intriguing for Verlander at only 8K. We know what his upside can't be. So as long as he, doesn't get absolutely blown up, he's shown that he can have some solid starts there. Waka, he's been really great at minimizing hard contact this season, which is one fantastic thing. And he's going up against Cleveland, who really don't have much hard contact to begin with. Like, they're more of a contact-based team. So I do think that Waka is going to be just fine in this matchup in the great ballpark of San Diego, facing off against Cleveland. So, like I said, he's been great at minimizing hard contact, and really he's providing a really solid floor here all season long. Oh, maybe not in that stretch, but for the most part, going back to, let's see, April. I mean, that's 2 months ago. But he's been really solid at 8.2K. He got a little bit of price bump, but I still think that, it's still a fine price for him to pay for in that tier. But look, Yuri Perez facing off against Seattle. Seattle, they're like a top 2 team in terms of highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching this season. I'm not super confident in it, but I still think that, given how large this guy is, as a human being, he's like 6'8" or something, 6'7", and the strikeout upside and like the top prospect that he is, I'm going to have a lot of interest in him. The main takeaway is that, he's $9K, and would you rather go him or would you rather go up to a guy like Glasnow, or even go pay super cheap and go down to a guy like Verlander or Waka? So it kind of falls in like that no man's land, which is why I have him ranked 3rd. But again, if you say like, Seattle, they strike out a whole heap ton, I would listen to it. And yeah, so this mid-tier, it's kind of muddled. It's kind of muddied, but it's kind of where I have things shaken out. In the cheap tier, Lively, Detmers, Whitlock, those are really the only 3 that I have a whole lot of interest in. I'm even going to put Clevenger down here, just because I don't have a whole lot of interest in Clevenger. I have some, which is why I'm not in the no interest category, but it's not great. But Lively, Detmers, and Whitlock, those are the 3. Detmers is probably going to be your highest ceiling guy. Like, he can hit double-digit strikeouts. He's going to be your highest ceiling guy. Lively, I think, is in, the better matchup and provides the better floor. And Whitlock is facing off against Colorado, who are ranked dead last in WRC plus against right-handed pitching so far this season. So just, he's in a great matchup. But again, pay attention to that rain. If they do like 3 innings and then there's a delay, he's done. Your lineups are done that have Whitlock in them. So that's kind of where pitching ranks out for me. I do like Kershaw, Castillo, Glasnow. Pay attention to the pitch count for Glasnow just because he's Tampa Bay and they don't like to go super deep into the games. Verlander, Walker, Perez, Heaney, Berrios. But you can flip-flop all these guys all you want. I think Berrios is in a tough matchup though. And then Lively, Detmers for ceiling, Lively for floor, Whitlock facing a terrible Rockies offense against right-handed pitching. So Boston is the top stack on the day, in my opinion. Well, in everybody's opinion, Vegas included. They have the highest implied run total, and they're just extremely, extremely affordable. Outside of Devers and Yoshida, I know Duvall's 5.1K. Verdugo's probably not going to be starting, going up against the lefty in Gomber, so it's probably going to be Ref Snyder. 2.6K, he's probably going to be batting leadoff as well. They like to get him in there against left-handed pitching. So he's probably going to be batting leadoff. He's not the greatest hitter in the world. He's not going to be hitting a whole bunch of home runs. He's not going to be stealing a whole lot of bases. He's only got 1 home run and 3 stolen bases on the entire season. But still, we're talking about a guy batting leadoff at home on the highest implied run total at 2.6K. It's more about the opportunity cost at that point, especially if you're jamming into the higher tier pitchers. You're going to be looking for some value. So Ref Snyder at 2.6K, very, very affordable, but really you can't go wrong with a lot of these guys. Justin Turner at 3.8K, I think he could see some traction as being a pretty popular option, as like a value option as well. Duvall, he is back. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but he's been back for about like 5 games after that just absurdly hot start, but he hasn't continued it. So I'm not sure I want to pay 5.1K for him. He's probably gonna be batting in the cleanup spot, 4th. So maybe there's some interest in there, but still 5.1K is a little bit pricey, I think, for him. But yeah, so Boston, they're going to be your number 1 stack. They're going to be my number 1 stack on the slate. Dodgers, going up against Clevenger. Clevenger's had some difficulty keeping the ball in the park. We'll leave it that way. He's had a handful of starts where, he's had some home run issues. I think he's had 3 or 4 starts where he's already allowed multiple home runs. So yeah, not what you want to see when you're facing up against this Dodgers offense. Freeman, 6.3K. It's going to be extremely tough to fit these guys in, but maybe you go down to a guy like Lively for your SP2, or a guy like Detmers, who are a bit more affordable. So Freeman, lefty-lefty matchup, or lefty-righty matchup. Muncy, he's day-to-day. Make sure he's paying attention. Hamstring strain. Woo, not what you want to see. So probably won't be in the lineup. He's going to be out. I'm just going to say he's going to be out. So I guess I didn't notice that in my research. So maybe I'd bump the Dodgers a little bit down, and maybe I throw Tampa Bay up a little bit more. But Tampa Bay or Dodgers, they got some boom in their bats. Clevenger's got some little bit of a home run issue. So I mean, maybe I even throw Dodgers over into the GPP category. Now that Muncy's out, I don't know. I'm thinking. This is just initial review. These things are going to change throughout the day, like as we get more, lineups and more data and everything. Things change. So, but if you want to see the final copy, come join us at FSi DFS. We'd love to have you. Link down in the description below to come join us. Yeah. So Tampa Bay, really like them going up against Oakland. Medina is their pitcher. I know they're on this win streak, but it's going to end at some point. Like, this is still a historically bad bullpen, historically bad pitching staff. You got relievers coming in that have double-digit ERAs constantly. So I'm going to have a lot of interest in Tampa Bay. Main thing with Tampa Bay is why I had them a little bit lower. It's just because of the pinch hit risk. They just have a lot of pinch hit risk. So it's kind of a flip of a coin, but still, they can certainly do some damage there. In terms of GPP, Arizona, I have them ranked up at the top. Going up against Suarez for Philadelphia. Suarez, he gets batted around quite a bit, and they're pretty affordable, all things considered. Like guys like Walker, Marte, Perdomo, all very affordable. Walker and Gurriel are probably going to be the first two guys that I would be paying attention to if I was going to do an Arizona stack. Carroll, he can hit home runs, he can steal bases, he can do it all. There's a reason he's 5.6K. But yeah, I do think that Arizona is probably going to be my favorite GPP stack here. Cincinnati's right behind them, going up against Lynch in Kansas City. I don't know if it's like a personal opinion, but I think the Cincinnati offense is just a team that you should be targeting in like a GPP stack, every night, essentially. Like, they just have, especially when they're in like those, hitter-friendly parks, hitting home runs, they're stealing lots of bases, especially with Ellie De La Cruz in there. They're just a fun team. They're a fun team, so I'm probably going to be getting a share of them on GPP all around. But last team I'll talk about here is going to be Houston. It's weird putting them in the cheap category, but without Alvarez in there, they are cheap. I mean, you got Tucker at only 5K leading the charge. Bregman Altuve 4.5, and then after that you're already down into 3.5K, and soon after that you're already in the 2K. So they're extremely affordable. They're facing off against Gray. He's not a gas can by any means. Like, he's okay. I'm not going to say he's a great pitcher, but Houston can definitely do some damage, and they're very cheap. So if you're even looking for some one-offs in here, for guys that you're looking for some value or whatever, I do think that at Houston you can go in here. Obviously you want like the lefties, so it's going to be like guys like Tucker, which is kind of stinks because he's the most expensive, but regardless, lefty, righty, don't pay too much attention to it. Don't get too stuck on platoons and splits. There's some nice bats in there for cheap. Obviously, go there. I don't know why I clicked on Myers. I kind of zoned down there as I was talking. Go Myers. Look at him. So that's kind of where the slate lands. I think it's a really interesting slate in terms of like pitching is loaded. Like, there's Kershaw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's like 13 or 14 pitchers that I have some serious interest in on this slate. It makes the bats a little bit less exciting, but I think Boston, Dodgers, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Cincinnati, and Houston are going to be the six that I'm probably going to be targeting the most on this slate. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Good luck in your contest as always. And yeah, Mega Ruler is going to be back for tomorrow's slate on Thursday, and he's going to have Friday as well. So next time you'll see me, it will probably be on Saturday. So good luck until then, and yeah, see you.